Check out Poly Real Estate, one of the main real estate groups there. Its Shanghai-listed shares up by 0.75%. So you're seeing a broad-based gain today in the Chinese markets, from Hong Kong to Shanghai. Consistent, of course, Rish, with the theme we're seeing across the Asia-Pacific, and 7.8% growth in China. Well, it may be the slowest since 1999, but certainly the market seems to be liking it.
Thanks, Ed. Right, let's get more now from Wei Yao, Chief China economist for Societe Generale, and the most accurate forecast of China GDP, CPI and PPI data, according to Bloomberg rankings. Well, you got it right again.
Yeah, it feels good to be right. Certainly.
Right, how did you work this one out?
Clearly, the GDP data reconfirmed that China is enjoying cyclical recovery, and you look at all the December activity data, it continued well in December. So I think, of course, these data are all backward-looking data, but based on some leading indicator, we can also see this momentum and carry well into Q1 at least. So we can safely say that the bottom for the Chinese economy was indeed the third quarter of last year. Yeah, that's pretty sure right now. Yeah.
But looking at 2013, we're going to have 8.1% is your view, isn't it? I believe.
We're slightly below consensus.
That's actually our survey, yes, it's 8.1%.
Yeah.
So you're below that slightly. But we've got to get used to, I suppose, slightly slower growth in the future as well, and as we get this so-called rebalancing taking place.
Yeah, certainly. That's something will definitely happen where China tries to move the economy to a more sustainable path. Actually, we agree that in the first half, the recovery acceleration will continue, but the second half, there may be some downside risk coming from rebalancing effort.
And also perhaps the investment cycle perhaps coming to an end as well. Is that one of the reasons why you think that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually going to be related with the credit cycle. We do think that this year the monetary policy may turn a bit tighter than last year.
Right. So the next move in interest rates, according to some, could be up, not down.
We think, we see that the PBOC is actually trying a different approach. They're managing more actively in terms of the interbank liquidity.
Yeah.
So we may not see interest rate hikes or cuts, but we could see tighter liquidity conditions.
What about inflation? I mean, is there a chance that we see that actually creeping higher as well, and would that be a worry really for the People's Bank?
Inflation is going to rise. That's pretty sure.
Pretty benign at the moment, really.
Yeah, still benign. I think in the next few months it will continue rising above 3%. But then the key is, how the PBOC is going to manage the credit growth in the next 2 quarters.
Can they manage it? That's the thing with a shadow banking system and various other, well, let's say below the counter ways of lending money.
That's a good point. But I still think, the banking regulators, if they actually do control or have some control over things like trust, things like wealth management products, if they tighten the regulation, which we think they will do it, then the credit growth from the shadow banking system will also slow. So, yes.
Okay. Right. What are the headwinds that are facing the Chinese economy? The credit cycle is one thing, of course. What about property? Did you see the property numbers earlier? 53 out of 70 on the way up here. And, is there a danger of us going into, well, a situation where property is again approaching a bubble?
The property market is indeed surprisingly stronger than we expected. I think it actually is the biggest risk, both in terms of the upside and downside. It can be even stronger, but if it gets stronger, especially the housing price start to rise very quickly, then the government may want to do something again. I mean, in terms of tightening, then it may become
implementation in a more vehement manner.
Yeah. And then they also again have to weigh on the credit control to maybe put pressure there, so then it becomes a policy risk. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much
indeed
for that. That is Wei Yao from Societe Generale. Bang on the money, 7.9% growth in the fourth quarter of last year is what we got, and that is what Wei was predicting as well. Just getting